Hey guys, Wildstar's features seem to be endless by what they have announced their game to have when it comes to both PvE and the PvP side of things. And this makes me so excited for this game, especially when I read about what features they plan to launch the game with for the player versus player side of things. So let's get into some details about what kinds of player versus player content the game will have. The first one I want to talk about is probably the most anticipated, and this is war plots. This is the type of PvP that Wildstar will have. They are being super secretive with whatever these things are by not letting much information out about them. Through short videos they've been teasing them, so we may soon have a big announcement on them, but for now all I know is that they are some kind of siege battleground on a ship up in the sky that you have to build, and then you have massive battles up on them. That's about it. That's all I know. I've seen rumours saying that they are 20v20 or even 40v40 matches, which sound absolutely crazy, but this is all speculation, so we might just have to wait and see what they have in store for us. War plots are an older game for Wildstar, meaning it is unlocked to use at max level as an end game. The Arena Elder game aims itself at players who thrive on challenging skill play, a competitive environment, and small team tactical play. The Elder game type also lends itself to, well, a future development of tournaments, esports systems, which deepens attachment to the challenge and progression of an arena system. One of the biggest differences you'll see in Wildstar's arena gameplay is that the arena match is not a single elimination. Each team shares a set amount of respawns based on the match size. To win an arena match, your team must get the opposing team to use all of their respawns and then defeat any remaining living opponents. An article on the Wildstar website also explained arenas as being this: you found the seedy underworld of Nexus in the dingy engine room of a marauder ship. The floor and walls are littered with bottles, beer cans, and broken weapons. Metal pillars sprout out from the center of the arena floor, venting steam. You can see the spectators behind the grating. They are eyeing you as they make their wagers. Cameras rove around the room, waiting to record the action. So that was a bit of an explanation of the kind of environment we're going to be in, I think, when it comes to arena. Sounds pretty cool. The most interesting part for me was that the arena system is going to have a limited number of respawns. This changes things up dramatically if you think about it. How important are tanks going to be now? That's just a thought, and I'm very interested to see how it turns out. Wildstar devs plan to have a spectating mode and also tools for live streaming events at your disposal, either at launch or as a patch when the game has released. Details of how the spectating mode will work has yet to be released, but I would imagine it would be something like the Call of Duty system, where you watch the game from one player's perspective and can switch in between everyone in the match. They have mentioned though that the arenas will have some kind of crowd, as I said just before, so this could mean that there's NPCs around the outside to add to the atmosphere, but it could also mean that you might be able to view the matches from outside the cage on your own character, which would be pretty cool. I think both are awesome ideas that could maybe just make the experience just that little bit better. PvE and PvP servers will be available at release, and both will have some kind of world PvP. Traditional rules are still part of these, such as ganking and being able to attack anyone you see from the opposing faction if you are on a PvP server. And people on PvE servers can change their settings to be able to enter combat with whoever else has their settings on the opposing team. The battleground matches are going to be sized around 10v10 to 15v15, but the developers of this game are changing things up once again and will be implementing new game modes than what we are used to, or tweaking them. An awesome example is the capture the flag mode. It will be the same with two teams starting opposite each other and a flag directly in the middle that you have to fight over. When you cap the flag, you'll get a score, but the flag you just captured will stay at your base and a new one will spawn again in the center. This now means that the winning team has to defend their points as they can be taken away, as well as work on capturing more points. Dueling is also available in Wildstar right now and looks very fun to do. I've even seen a video of a tank and healer dueling each other, and it was fairly balanced from what I could see. And yes, I did not stuff that up. It was a tank spec character dueling a healer. The tanks and healers in Wildstar work a little bit differently than what you would imagine. From what I've read, they're trying to make it so that if one team has an extra healer compared to the other, It's not GG before the game even starts, which does happen in other games. This leads me to the tanks, and how they are going to have a part in Battlegrounds and other team PvP. For an example, tanks can use taunts on enemies in Battlegrounds, which makes them do less damage to your teammates. On a forum I was reading, I saw a comment saying that it sounds much like the Star Wars MMO tank. Tanks will have a good arsenal of abilities that will help them fulfill their tank role in PvP. A small sample of these include Taunt, as I mentioned before. If a tank taunts an enemy, the enemy will deal reduced damage to everyone but the tank that taunted. If a tank taunts an enemy, the enemy will deal reduced damage to everyone but the tank that taunted. Tether. Let's say someone is chasing your healer or another one of your friends. You can create an anchor in the world that the enemy player will be tethered to. Once tethered, that enemy player can only move a set amount of distance away from that anchor until the anchor is destroyed or wears off. And pull. Another case of someone chasing your healer or another one of your friends. In this case, you can aim at the enemy and launch a chain at them that will pull them to your current location, buying your friend precious seconds to get away. Jen Gordy, the senior PvP systems designer, and Chris Lynch, lead combat systems designer for Wildstar, had a great article on the Wildstar website. Here's what they had to say. In Wildstar, we want player skill in PvP combat to enable access to the best rewards that PvP will offer. To meet that goal, players will have an individual ELO rating, similar to what League of Legends has, for each PvP feature that is used as a representation of player skill. The rating will be used for matching, as well as to determine access for buying higher quality gear and other types of rewards. The end result? As they get higher ratings, skilled players will filter to the top, opening up gear options to stay competitive with players of similar ratings. New players to the game will start at the bottom and will be matched with players who are also starting out or learning the ropes. If you're not in the competitive mood or trying out PvP for the first time and don't want to throw off your rating, you can participate in open play, where you are matched with other players based on your gear. In regards to the thought of the static feeling when it comes to the PvP Battlegrounds, the Wildstar team likes applying that Wildstar flavour to our PvP maps. For us, this means that we take the standard PvP game types and identify ways to enhance objectives and roles to better suit Wildstar's combat and mobility mechanics. As an example of that is the capture the flag mode I was talking about just before. That was my overview of how the different types of PvP will work in Wildstar. The game is still in testing, so if any more news comes up, be looking out for more videos to do with this game. That's all I have for this video, so thanks for watching guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you have made it this far, and I will see you next time.
Reloading.